This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we have installed Ubuntu 16.04 on one of the virtual machine with allocating 2 GB of RAM and two networks. So let me start this machine and let us try to install Docker on it. Okay. So this is the machine where we have created yesterday, and you can see the host name. Okay. You want to see the fully qualified domain name? This is the one. On this machine we have configured the network, like one of the interface, it's already connected to one of the switch called NAT switch, which will pick the IP address automatically because it's a DHCP enabled. Second switch is like host only adapter, where IP address we need to assign because there is no DHCP enabled. Why I don't want to have a DHCP? Because every time when you reboot your server, you cannot guarantee that you will get the same IP address. The IP address might change. So that's the reason I want a fixed IP address to my operating system. So that's the reason I gave a static IP address, which I updated in the network configuration file. So the file is /etc network /interfaces. So here we can see that this parameters have added with a static saying that whatever the address I gave here, that need to be applied to my interface. So that is what I have mentioned. Okay, so that is just simple and clear, which we have already discussed on it. Okay, someone is asking a question. Okay, so now let us install Docker on it. So in the older version, before 17.0 or what 1.1 to 1.13 version, Docker package used to be like this: Docker -io. This is the package which we have in order to install the like Docker on your machine. So this package need to be installed. So now they have divided into two parts. One is Docker-ce and Docker-e. Okay, CE is called as Community Edition. Okay, and E is called as Enterprise Edition. Okay. T is called as Community Edition and E is called as Enterprise Edition. Okay, so this is how we have installed. Okay, so now older version we don't use it right now. Okay, we are going for the latest version. So Community Edition and Enterprise Edition is nothing but Community Edition is like free of cost. You can download. It is an open source. It's like you need to download the ZPZ key for that particular package or repository, and then you can install it. Whereas enterprise edition is like you will get a license key, you need to purchase the license key and you can install it. Okay, so that is a major difference between enterprise edition and the community edition. Okay, so in our class we are going to, there is no much difference. Okay, so both are same, the functionality, everything is same. Okay, so now let us try to install community edition. Okay, in community edition again we have two types. Okay, we have two types here. Two types are nothing but edge and stable. Edge is nothing but we have two types of repositories in order to install Docker-ce package. Okay, Edge and stable. Edge in the sense every month you will get a new release, new version. Okay, they will fix some bugs or whatever it is. They will provide a new release for every month. Stable in the sense for every 3 months there will be a new release of version. Okay, so that is the basic difference. Okay, stable and edge. So now let's install. You can directly search from the official document itself. Okay, Docker installation on Ubuntu. So then you'll get the first link for CE edition. So this is the official document which we have in order to install community edition. If you want to go for CentOS, you can use CentOS, Debian, Fedora, Ubuntu, binaries, or whatever it is. On Mac you can install, on Windows you can install. Okay, if you want to go for enterprise edition, then we have here. Okay, this is Edge release. So you can install Docker on Mac OS, Windows, Linux, and then cloud. Okay, so where we can install Docker can be installed in on Linux, Linux, Windows, Mac OS. Okay. You can install on cloud. Cloud can be anything, right? So cloud like AWS, Azure, OpenStack, and then we have Google Cloud, which is called as GCR. Okay, GC, whatever it is. So you can install Docker anywhere. Just you need to have a server to be installed. So servers can be created in cloud, or it can be a physical machine, or it can be a virtual machine. Any point, any source it is. But you need to have a physical server to be installed. Sorry, you need to have a server to be installed. Okay. So as of now, I don't have any repository. See, on Ubuntu, whenever you create a repository, that will be stored under a directory called /it is either in this file or it will be a separate file under this directory. Okay, entries might be added in this file or it creates a separate file under this particular. Okay, that you need to remember. So repositories will be created in this location for Ubuntu. Okay, or Debian.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Sudan, sorry for interrupt. So whenever I want to Docker, so I need to create repository. Is it mandatory? So I can download a Docker packages in outside. So I can do WinRCP, I can copy to server and I can install it. Like that also I need to do, or it's mandatory to create repository.
Your voice is breaking. You're talking from. Can you please put your mic near to your mouth?
Yeah, should give me 2 minutes. Right now I'm in
Oh,
lab.
okay.
Okay.
Do one thing. When you're stable, right? Just unmute your mic and talk to me. Okay. Hello. Okay. Fine. So that's the reason that's telling you that uninstall older version. See, older version. What is the package name? It is docker.io. Okay. So that is the older version we have. So we are not bothered about it. So our concentration is around 16.04. Okay. First of all, whenever you create a new machine of Windows, let us say this is the fresh machine which I have created right now. Obviously, we need to do apt-get update. Okay, this is for Debian machines. Debian in the sense Debian operating system and Ubuntu operating system. Okay, apt-get update in the sense it doesn't install the packages. It will contact to all the repositories which you have created in this source.list or under this directory, and it will see whether it is able to contact to the repository and fetch the packages. What are the packages are available in the repository? So that is what it will try to do. So whenever you repository in Ubuntu or Debian operating system, we need to execute this command. Okay. Now, after this, we need to install minimum packages required in order to install Docker. So there will be some minimum package requirement that need to be installed. A sudo command is not mandatory because we already logged in as a root user. Okay. If we are doing from a different user, then we need to have a sudo before that, and that user should be a sudo user. So here we can say directly I'm trying to install, I have accepted, I'm trying to install the package. So these are like minimum packages. What are those? apt transport.https, ci-certificates, curl, software properties, common. See, if you want to execute this command, we need to have a curl package, right? So that's the reason we are using here. And
so are these certificates are from Docker certificates
official
or
repository, Docker certificates. It's not related to anything.
okay? Yes, if we want any we can place it over there, or is it
Yes.
specified only
So
for the
actually,
Docker?
the certificates, yeah, certificates will be located in varlib, Docker, and PKI, and there you will locate your certificates. That is by default generated by Docker. Okay, using the CA certificate package, when you install it, so automatically it will execute OpenSSL command or whatever it is, and then it will generate some certificates and it will use it. If you want to override it, you can generate your own self-signed certificates and you can place it over there. Just we need to restart your Docker daemon.
Okay. So, but we won't tag any of these certs to particular
No, no,
images or particular Docker containers, right?
no, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
So let's copy this command. What this command does is like it will contact to that particular URL. It will download the public key and it will give this particular output as an input to this command. It will add the public key to our local machine. Okay. It says okay in the sense it is perfect. Okay. So if you want, you can execute this command and verify. We need to get the same output, whatever you got here. Okay. Then it is a valid one. You can see Docker daemon, Docker release CE edition it is, and this is the key which we have 40. This is the public key, sorry, 4096 R and all. You got the same output, right? So this is how, just for verification it is. So I told you, right, in CE edition we have two types of repositories. One is stable and one is edge. Edge is nothing but for every 3 month, 1 month you will have one new release. For stable you will have for every 3 months. Okay. So now I'm trying to create a repository for your in order to install Docker package. So execute this command, and here we can see we are using stable repository. You can see here stable. I'll show you this once the execution is done. Here it will create your repository under /etc apt source.list.d. So here it is not created. So directly we need to open this file and see. So it has not created a separate file for your repository. So go to the bottom. Here we can see that. And it is a stable, you can see here. Okay, this is a stable repository which we are using, not edge. Okay. So whenever you create a new repository, what we need to do, apt-get update. It will show you whether it is able to contact to the repository or not. You can see here it is able to contact to the repository. Okay, so then we can confirm that, okay, when I try to install some package, it will download and it will install. Okay, now directly we need to install the package. That is, the package name is docker-c. With this, we are done with the Docker installation. So my requirement is like, my what do you say, my project manager has asked, like, before installing the package, he want to know which kind of version it will install. See, by here you have a document, and here it is telling you that it is not telling you anything which version it will be installed, but I want to know which version will be installed by default, what version it will install. Okay, so then we have a command called in Debian missions I'm talking, apt hyphen cache policy, okay, docker hyphen c. Okay, so these are the versions which are supported by your Docker repository. This is entirely from Docker repository, the repository which you added. What is the latest version? It is 18.06.1. This is the latest. Till here, this is the package name. Okay, so it is supported from 17.03 from here till here. These versions are supported. You can install anything whichever you want. By default, which version will be installed? This is the one, the latest one. In the candidate section, you can see which version will be installed by default if you don't specify anything. In the install section, if package is installed, then it will show you, but here it is not installed, right? So if you want to install latest version, we'll directly give apt and get install, okay, docker hyphen c. But let us say I want to install this 17.03, then copy this, okay, and give equal to, and then paste. So this is how we need to install a specific version. Okay, if you want to install a specific version, we need to copy that particular version and then paste here. Okay, so let's continue with the installation. And then accept, enter. Directly you can give enter, or you can give Y. Accept and install. Any questions? Any questions still here? Whatever we had discussed, any concept that you didn't understood or anything else?
Is it going to be same for, like for E?
Yeah, it's the same. The package is same, but you need to get the key. So let me show you that. This is enterprise edition. Okay. So docky e URL, you need to get that. Okay. First download it and then install this package. Okay. Your version, which version you want to install, that version they're trying to upload, and here they're trying to get the ZPC key again and then trying to use it, and they can install. Okay, but it is recommended to use official what do you say, key in order to install this. Okay, it is same procedure, just you will change your key, that's it. Okay, same procedure, doesn't change anything. So I'll give you this link, you can follow this.
Yeah, Sadam, I want to.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sadam. So uh, I want to install Docker. For example, let's talk about Ubuntu. I want to install
Okay.
Docker package and Ubuntu 12 version.
Huh?
So the
Okay.
12 version don't have Docker packages. So that time I can download Docker packages in outside. I can copy it to server. I can install it, or it's mandatory to create repository. So
See,
through repository only we need to install.
older versions might support, but the latest version doesn't support on 12.04, 12 version. So what you can do is like, try to create this repository. Okay, till here try to create a repository and then update, and then try to install a older version like 17.03 or Docker, or directly you can use this command. Which command? See, directly you can install on your 12.04 version. It doesn't install latest version called Docker-C or E, because I tried it on 12 version. So we need to use a older version, which is not supported right now. You can see here. See, these are the supported operating systems. Okay.
Okay.
So you
For example, in RHL, I want to, for example, RHL 7.4 latest version. So I want to install Docker package on RHL 7.4. For that, for example, I'm using my golden image, like template, whatever my project customer specification. I'm using that golden image. In that golden image, the Docker package is not there. So that time customer requested for Docker package. So that time is it recommended way to, I mean, can I download packages from Google and I can copy to the server?
download, but the problem is if sometimes if there is a dependency that need to be installed, so then obviously you will throw into an error. So first of all, you need to install the dependencies, and then you need to install the main package. So
Okay,
what
so
this command does, sorry.
that I mean, whenever we are downloading packages from outside and copying to the server, is it recommended way only, right?
No, when you don't have any choice, then we need to do that. That is the last choice to do it. But it is not a recommended way because you don't know which package has what dependencies, right? So it's a bit
Yes.
tough to do it. So when you use this command, this kind of command in order to install the package, okay, automatically it will download the dependencies first and it will install, and then it will install the main package. Okay, that's how we do it.
Okay.
And it will create a recommended directories and files which are required for your Docker to be running perfectly. Okay, so you know when Docker is installed, it will create a directory called var lib docker. So this is the Docker directory, home directory, which is created. All the images, containers, everything, volumes, everything will be stored here. Network related information, everything will be stored here. Okay,
Okay.
so
So
this is the main
whenever
directory for your, yeah, this
okay,
is the
okay.
home
So
directory for your Docker. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
uh, whenever, for example, I changed something on Docker network end, that information will store in this network directory. So
Obviously,
containers
obviously,
will be.
obviously, that will be shown in the form of files. Okay, this is a DB database. Okay, so here it will be storing this particular details. Okay,
Oh,
so remember this
thank
is
you.
the home directory of your Docker. Home directory in this is where your Docker. So now you can hear me, right? Okay. So with this command, we have confirmed that the Docker has been installed. So let us try to build an CentOS machine, and then let us try to install Docker on it. Right? I told you both. I will be installing Docker on CentOS as well as Ubuntu. Okay. So let's try to create a new mission. So this part is done. So let's try to create a new mission. New, and let us say CentOS. You can see automatically it got selected with Red Hat. We don't have anything like CentOS. It's nothing, nothing. It doesn't matter because Red Hat and CentOS are same. It's a clone copy of your Red Hat. CentOS is a clone copy of your Red Hat. So I'm allocating 2 GB of RAM to this, or 3 GB, whatever it is. Continue, create, then continue, continue, and here select the size. So I want to allocate 50 GB. Create. Okay. So now what we need to do? Go to settings, allocate network. Like first adapter is already attached with NAT by default. Go to second adapter, enable. mm, I'll show you how to use bridge network. Okay. So bridge adapter. So I'm connecting to Wi-Fi because I connected to my Wi-Fi router, and then allow all. Okay. This is like no need to use NAT or host on adapter. The bridge itself will provide the internet connectivity. If your base machine is getting internet, obviously my virtual machine also will get an internet because I'm using one of the IP which is allocated to my from the network which is allocated to my physical machine. Okay. So then click on OK. Okay. So let's. Oh, I forgot to give ISO. So storage
So is
empty.
it up to us like to either to give bridge or
Up to
NAT
us.
and
It is your requirement. See, I have enough amount of IP address in my router. Then obviously I can go for bridge instead of giving NAT and host only and facing the problems with this. I will give only single IP with both internet connectivity as well as I can communicate to this IP from one machine to another physical machine with this bridge IP. Okay. If you give host only, you don't get internet connection, but you can access only within someone from mobile try to ping to my virtual machine. It is not okay. If I use bridge, this IP which is allocated to the VM is from the router. So the person who is connected to the router can ping to my virtual machine. Okay. You understood the difference.
yeah. So this
Uh,
VM whenever we restart, like does it doesn't get static IP rate then?
I, I didn't get you. So it's static IP, right? So I'm trying to give it. See, as of now, see this is the settings which I given. Okay, second adapter I had disabled it. First adapter I'm only giving bridge. Okay, click on OK. Okay, now we can see only one adapter I have. So let's see what are the things we need to do. Okay, then you'll understand. In that case, you need to give gateway. Not only is if it is Ubuntu, I need to give gateway. Okay, again I need to give DNS entries. Everything I need to give. Previously, what happened? The NAT interface is automatically getting this particular details. So that's the reason we are not bothered about gateway and DNS. Okay, so I'll tell you this part also. Okay, centers, then you'll understand. So as of now, this it is pointing here. We need to go for install CentOS and press enter. So we are using CentOS 7, that too server edition, not desktop edition. Guys, try to install everything on a server edition. So desktop edition, in the sense, you will get graphical user interface, which is not recommended in production servers. Okay. Just a second, guys. Swarupa, Swarupa, Swarupa. Just a second, guys. I reconnected, so I need to get screen sharing. So now this language is already selected with English and all. So just click on continue. Continue. So then in the single window, we have all these entries. It's like for Ubuntu, we need to go step-by-step process, but here we have everything in a single window. So now I need to change my time, date and time. So I have selected here, automatically it's selected with Asia Kolkata. Okay. And then this is the date and all. So perfect. So click on done. After that, language is English, keyboard language and the language support is English. That's fine. Installation media we have already given. Software selection, it's like we are going for minimal installation. Okay. Minimal in the installation, you don't get much package installed in this operating system. Okay. Later on, we need to install it. And installation destination. So where you want to install. So on the hard disk, you will install your operating system, right? So we need to select it. So just double click on it. Okay, click on OK. Okay, so it is automatically selected. Now you can see it is highlighted, but we are not yet done. So in the network part, we need to enable. So click on this, click on this particular on. So here we can see you will get an automatic IP address here. You can see here, I got one IP address which is free from my router. Automatically it got it. See, 192.168.0.6, and this is my gateway. Okay, and this is the host name. If you want, you can change it. Okay, as of now I'm not changing it, so just apply it is. Okay, and if you want to change this IP address and all, you can go for configure and you can change it. Okay, so these are the things which we have. Okay, and so you can go to IPv4 settings and then you can change this from DHCP to static and you can add your own IP address, but we are not using it. Just click on done. So now we are ready with all the settings which are required. So then we can begin the installation. Okay. So we have modified the date and time. We have modified the installation destination. We have added it, and we have enabled the network part. So we have only one interface because I enabled only one adapter with host only. Sorry, bridge. So click on bridge. So by default, we need to log in with root user in CentOS, whereas a user, after logging into that user, we have shifted into root user. But in CentOS, there is a direct root access, so we need to set a password for the root user. So set a password. Test 1 2 3. I'm giving the same password. So click on done. Done. Okay. Now we are ready with the installation. Any questions? I hope no. So it will take some time. Depends internet connectivity and all, as I told you before. Because it is contacted into the internet, few packages it will contact to the internet and it will install. Rest of the package it will install from ISP. Sorry?
Anyway, it will take, I mean, 5 to 10 minutes for installation. So I have few queries on Docker. So
okay, sure,
I
sure.
think is it good to,
Yeah, you
so,
can go ahead.
So once we will install packages on in OSN, so how can we access the Docker? Like in IP address through server IP, we can access the Docker.
I will tell you. Actually, I want to explain the architecture of Docker, but you're asking this question before itself. I don't know whether it will give you a proper answer or not, but this part I will explain tomorrow, because tomorrow we are starting with the architecture of the Docker. Today just I've shown you the installation of Docker. Tomorrow I will tell you how we are going to contact to the applications which are installed on the container. Okay, how will you access, how it will get an IP address, how it will contact to the internet. So everything, this architecture I'm going to explain in this tomorrow's class. Okay, so
Okay,
this
okay,
answer I will explain you tomorrow.
okay, sure. But just give me one answer. So how can we access this Docker? So using IP address or using any host name or any
No, no,
port
no.
number?
See,
Port number.
Docker is already installed on your base machine, right? So
Okay.
if you want to communicate to your Docker from outside, we need to install a client. That is a Docker client. We need to install, so that command will, you need to do some configuration settings so that it will contact to the Docker daemon. But
Mm-hmm.
we are running all the commands on the local machine itself. Local machine in the sense where you have installed Docker. Obviously, we'll have a Docker command. So the Docker CLI command will contact to the Docker daemon, which is running in the background, and then it will create a container for us. Okay. If you are trying to log into your Docker machine from outside, then you need to install some package. If you are
Oh,
already logged into Docker machine, and if you are trying to create some containers and all, it is not required anything. Directly you need to execute commands.
okay.
Okay.
So we can perform Docker operations of both
Huh.
GUI and CLI mode. Is it?
CLI only. We don't have any GUI for Docker. No graphical user
Oh,
interface.
okay, for containers, I mean, even
Yeah, for containers.
for containers only we have that GUI mode, right? So where we
See,
can,
in container is nothing but, previously we used to have virtual machines. Okay, virtual machine is like it has some huge applications running in the background. But containers is a lightweight. It's also a server, but it is a lightweight server where you can run your applications, like Java applications or .NET applications, whatever it is. Applications you can run, and you can access from outside. Okay.
so the means the Docker, for example, I created one Docker image, so that
Mhm.
all images will store on default Docker directory.
Yeah, yeah. Once you pulled from Docker Hub, it will store in your local directory. That is where lib Docker images.
Okay.
If it is not, when you try to create a container, we need to give the image from which image you are trying to create a container. So if that image is not available in your local directory, or it is not able to locate it, then immediately it will contact your Docker Hub. Then it will pull it, and then it will create a container. Okay.
Okay. So Docker Hub we need to create again separate or how?
No, it's already available. It is maintained by Docker team itself. So we need to create an account and we can use it. Okay. Just I will show
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Yeah. Docker Hub is called as a repository. Okay.
Okay. Like a central repository,
Yeah, how we
like
use Git,
GitHub.
right? GitHub and all. So in the
Okay.
same way.
Mhm.
So see, already have an account. So I'll just log into it. You can create it. It's just simple sign up. Okay. See, this is my Docker Hub account. Okay. In this, I have pushed one image. So two times I have pulled it from this particular location. I have two pulls, in the sense I two times have pulled image from this particular repository. If you want to see the details of this image, you can go to details. You can see. So this is the command which I need to execute in order to pull this image. Okay. And if you want to create a new repository, just create a repository and store your image. Okay.
Okay.
Public in the sense everybody can download, no need of restrictions. If it is a private, they need to give some authentication like username, password in order to download. Okay. So
Okay.
this is how. Got it right?
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
So you can also create your account. It's just simple. So if you want, just everybody create an account. So with this new to Docker, Just give your ID, email address, password, agreement. That's it. Sign up. Done. Your account will be created. Just simple it is. Sorry. Let's go for the installation. It's almost done. Post installation in the sense after installing the Gate. Once that is done, it will ask for the reboot.
What is the difference between registry and repository?
See, nothing. Repository in the sense entire registries, right? Registry. Create a registry in the sense you are creating one. Let me give one example. Okay, you have a hard disk. Okay, hard disk is called as repository. Okay, in the hard disk you will create separate directories for each. Let us say in movies I will place in movies directory. Songs I will place in a songs directory, and other things photos I will place in a gallery directory. So each and every directory is called as repository. Okay, that's how. So that registry, sorry, each and every directory is called as a registry. Registry in the sense it is specific to that particular code. The code related to see the image related to that one image I'm trying to upload as a registry. Okay, so all the images are located in one particular dashboard that is called as repository. Okay, that is how we call it.
Okay. So like if we create our do we create our private registry or private
It's
repository?
up to you. See, if you're using a free account, right? It allow only few private repositories. It has some limitations. We have some quota. Okay. If you are using a licensed one of Docker Hub account, then we'll get a number of private repositories we can create. Okay. It depends upon the license key you're using. I'll show you how to create it also. We can create a private registry and we can also create public registry. The one which I've shown is like public. Means like everybody can download. If I give that command, if you after installing Docker, if you execute that command directly, you can download the image. Okay. Any other questions? So installation is done. Now we get an option called reboot. So now we get an option called reboot. Just click on it. So now it is loading your operating system from hard disk because we are given the destination installation called hard disk. So every time it will load your operating system from the hard disk. So now it is asking for a login prompt. So root is the username by default, and the password is the entry which are given in the password section while installing the operating system. So now we can see you have installed your operating system successfully. You are able to ping google.com successfully. Why? Because you have single interface with NAT with bridge connected. You can see there. Okay. So this just a second. I will connect to this machine from outside. So let me use it. Root at 192.168.0.6. Yes. 123. You can see I logged into my CentOS machine. You can see here. So where these network entries are added, let me show you. This is Red Hat and CentOS. So the location will be different. /etc systemctl system.
No, you were searching for network configuration. cd
Yeah.
slash etc system network I can state. There we can find it.
Absolutely. Why I'm getting stuck?
No. But you are editing or you want to see that existing interface.
See, it's okay. Like I can go to that file, right? I can open the file. What is the interface name? It is ENP0S3. Since we have only one interface, so that's the reason we have only one particular file under network-scripts. Okay, open this file and you can see the entries related to your interface. Okay, here it is DHCP. So automatically it will get an IP address. Let us say I want to use static. Okay, every time I need to get this IP address. So what I will do under boot proto, change it to static. Okay, and we need to add the IP address. So IP ADDR. In Ubuntu or Debian machines, it is called as address, but IP ADDR. So 192.168 0 dot like 6 it is. Okay, so this is how we need to add netmask. We need to add 255.255.255.0. Okay, and gateway. gateway. So 192.168.0.1. This is how we need to add, and DNS. Okay. So we need to add DNS1, and we need to add like something like 8.8.8. Google DNS, Google name servers, whatever you want. So these are the entries we need to add. For in this case, it is not required. I want to use DHCP. Okay, because it doesn't create any impact for my Docker installation. Okay, so DHCP. I'm not saving it, so just I quitted it without saving. Okay, so tomorrow we'll see the installation of this particular on this machine. Okay, any questions, guys? Any questions in this? So this is how. So we have today. What we have done is like we have logged into Ubuntu operating system and we have done the Docker installation. And after that, we have built a Ubuntu CentOS machine, and now it is ready for the installation of Docker. Okay. So tomorrow we will install the Docker on CentOS machine. Okay. And then same thing we are using the community edition. No more enterprise edition from our side. Okay. An organization or real-time Docker setup will be dedicated VM or node. It depends. They don't use VM actually. They use a physical service, bare metals. Okay. So default home directory cannot be changed while installing the Docker, but after installation we can do it. Okay. So that can be done. During installation you can't do anything. We need to go for default things. After installation you need to do some particular changes, and then you need to restart your Docker service. Okay, that we'll see. You can remind me one day. Okay, so then we will do it. So tomorrow we are going to install the Docker on CentOS machine, and then we'll see the architecture of Docker. So what are the things are there, what technologies they are using, and all. Okay. Okay then. So I'm winding up for today, and tomorrow we'll join, and tomorrow we'll discuss on it. Okay, I think tomorrow it is a festival, right? So I think I will not be able to join. So tomorrow will be on holiday, and day after tomorrow at the same time we can join. Okay. Okay, guys. Happy Vinayak Chavithi in advance to all, and we can meet on day after tomorrow. Okay. Bye. See you.